The rules of natural nature are found in your traits, all that compose you physically that reflect mentally. Nuwapians, remember an actual fact you don't see with your iontwi eyes, you see with your Dhamma brain, you hear with your brain. All this relates to who you are by natural nature's rules on higher life, living, death and dying, not what you became after Ladad birth or accepted or converted to. Your physical features, characteristics, know each race has been implanted with their fate or each as a number of species of their own. The Africans have or consist of 9 species, different features, characteristics. The Aborigines have 8 species, the Indians have 7 species, the Caucasoid have 6 species, the subraces have 5 and 4 species and the Asians have 3 species 1, Chinese 2, Japanese 3, Koreans and many subraces such as the American Indian and their many tribes. The originals of each race, each Jesus vibrates and have their own tone, frequencies. The sub-races of Africans are in the Western world, ex-slaves, and the sub-races of Negroids subdivided into many features and characteristics, and their health as well as mental state is affected by with whom they were mixed. This is all the standards of natural and unnatural nature intermingled and interwoven and interfused into a maze of unorganized systems and mental states. The natural fate is now unbalanced. Yet, because natural nature works by time and cycles in this vast vacuum or Raham womb of life, one rule is fate and is united with and interdependent upon the others. That is the original black man, the very first race of melaninites, governed by a network of natural rules working with Wako time and Nashid energy and pigmentation and the Shamash sun to accomplish and complete a circular change or a circle of circular cells of change, our fate. The rules of this, our fate, is supreme to all others unless they are designed to confirm, to fulfill and satisfy the rules of natural nature's divine plan. What makes the rules of fate is that it is consistent, its consistency and constancy, sameness and firmness, that is always the same reaction to actions and a non-stop action, to a shakas person or shayat thing when given the same conditions or intakes. So outside can affect outcome or overindulgence or infect that which is natural by that or who is unnatural. So Nuwapians, subsequently, rules of nature are determined by instinct in animals and beasts, yet, by reason by humanoids, which includes inspiration and revelation from outside Zahan on intelligence or aliens, some known by whom, others don't, some benevolence, others malevolent, and the amount of melanin allows those Ka'a spirit beings to enter the person who welcomes them by their Yakuza genes, their involvements, their being intoxicated, their being mentally unbalanced. You see, to be genetically balanced you have to be a pure seed. You see, the true meaning of bipolar is mixed seeds with 2 mental capacities. When a mixed offspring has equal side influence, or dual influence of the mind, that child or person is bipolar. You have more mentally disturbed people who are mixed seeds than pure of any of the original races. Afef Re A Ka U, Africans, Negroids, pure, Astral U, Aborigines, Australia, pure, Dravid U, Indians, India, pure, Nugal U, Asians, Asia, pure. It is when they were invaded by Muckas U Caucasoid and raped and mixed that you find the world's worst leaders, killers they call great leaders. All were bipolar mixed seeds, so you must restore your genes back to being pure, and in order to be respecting natural nature. It will take some 400 years or 4 generations to complete, just as the white and red races did to blacks from Africa and others for 400 years. He invaded South America, mixed in. Now we have Spanish of Spain, and Spaniard. We have Latino of Latin's Rome subdivided into all new Renanate names from those of Spain and Portugal, spreading their disease and chaos and dissension. Now the same people are separated into new names, all speaking dialects of Europe, and call it Spanish or Portuguese. He did the same in Africa and India and Australia, separate a people into groups, mixed and then take over, claim to be of them as Europeans did in America. So bipolar or mental defects comes from mixing with this Sabat beast man who was crossbred with Hoenu animals in the past. This has affected their DNA, which affected their brain waves and mental stability, also their gender assignment. Many Marapu Europeans are gender confused, that is mostly the male side are born a female, in a male body, as well as many other growth problems. The male's mind never ages past age 13, and is why they love to play all kinds of children games, and as well as play with children as pedophiles, counselors, teachers, in gym, coaches and many others over children or the young. They go to war thinking it's a game. Munwapu Nuwapians, we are not the same at all in any way, mind, body or spirit, because they have no soul, only body and spirit ruled by instinct as other lower animal creatures. Most don't know anything about their own race, and now that they're finding out, they don't like what they see. Nuwaubians, defining or identifying a race as person or thing, even a place or species, is what differentiates or distinguishes that group. And now that they have uncovered the genome and chromosomes, they found out what they're made up of, and the Mukmam-U blacks and Mulban-U whites are not the same at all and are from different roots. They found in their chromosomes strange DNA, such as what they call the Denisovans, who contains a segment of DNA not in other species such as blacks, a flesh-eating cannibal humanoid. His own ancestor after they moved out of Africa to Europe. He has also found others related to him and not Africans, the Cro-Magnon, a European, Neanderthal European, and no older than 6,000 years, not related to Africans, only Europeans. They don't like what they found out about their physical history, and also finding the Sumerian stone tablets, what they found by the Dead Sea Scrolls and Gnostic Gospels. What they found out is hurting their youth, who now reject all they were taught. Truth is becoming Sawab truth to them, the defining moment of identifying. All others able to differentiate and distinguish by DNA these days and trace back just how far and to what creatures they were crossbred with. They see the reason for their deformities. Simians, baboon, mandrill, canines equals wolves, and porcines equals boar, hogs. Why they have far fur, not wabar hair. Why they have fangs. Why their bodies are covered with fur of different colors. Why some still bomb with tails called coccyx or coccyges, humps in their backs, long toes, different colored eyes, love of flesh for food, love to fight, war and hunt and kill, love to yell or howl, sleep sexually with any stranger, or one-night stands and incest. All these are traits they got from being crossbred with animals by the aliens who made them and operated on them. Genesis 2:21. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. They are just now finding out these things about themselves and don't like what they see. They lived a 6,000-year lie. To them now there is confusion in their minds, and it's clear, not unclear information. It's right there on each race of people in their DNA, no exception. As a species he is a kind of man or man's kind. Humankind not original in any way, shape or form. A made man, a grafted creature, evil by nature. A race of people by definition is separated into species, just as felines, canines and simians, they are separated by appearances. As for the Nagar Negroid race, they are unique as a race and arc people who grown genuinely kinky hair upon their heads. Nappy head is seen on their originals, the Sands people of South Africa. As for the Mukazu Salal Caucasoid race, they are not unique as a race, they are like others with weaker genes and grow far fur or thin straight fur. As for the Mungal-U Mongoloids or Asians, they are also unique in the fact that as a race only they grow hollow hair, thorn-like. So, therefore basically and scientifically there are three different types of growth on these separate species. Africans, pure kinky hair; Asian, pure hollow, thorn-like hair; and Caucasians, pure thin straight fur. As you study race and species of each, you will find distinct traits, and the Caucasoid of all have traits like animals, their features and actions. How this happened was already explained in many of my works. They're crossbred by aliens they think are God and angels. They were just extraterrestrials. They are now coming to know this fact too, so not they raise the questions on creation on Earth. Zan Missum intelligent design or Siam Missum divine design? The answer when it comes to the Adamite race is an alien plot or plan. What mainly concerns most people on this planet Sector 24 are individuals and groups of humanoids of Salalu races, Sanfu species, to know their own past and origin as well as their present and future. And also well-being for the present and future that includes justice, liberty and the pursuit of happiness and good health. And what further concern most normal people is facts these days, not faith, fiction, legends, fables and fairy tales. People nowadays want actual facts, confirmation, proof, not things that can't be checked out. Such as the first human being made or created on earth by a spirit being of dust, clay, loam, mud, something outdated not backed up by any genetic fact, or that a group of Ka'ayu spirits had Janus sex with physical women and birthed sons and daughters, while these spirit being called angels, sons of God, have no Xi chromosome, no Mata sperm, Monam semen, or that God as a spirit came down with one of these spirit being angels and made a woman pregnant with himself to be God, the Son of God at the same time. Those kinds of unscientific stories found in religions of old, people want to know, and they know this fact. You need a male with Xi chromosome to give up 23 of them and a female with 20 chromosome and bind 23 of them to make a child with 46 chromosomes. That is an actual fact not understood 2,000 years ago by those in the Middle East. Yet, now know the world over. Babies come out of women not to fall clay, wahal mud, offer dust, sazel loam, or saying be and he is magic as found in Bible and Quran. People today are gathering correct information which gives them the right knowledge of their own origin. No more listening to the Caucasoid stories. His stories on how some spirit god from above came to earth to make him first white or fair or ruddy like themselves. and the origin of other races who are around them and of this planet and this one universe things now known. Wu-Nawap deals and indeed treats on origins of all things and persons, places and races with no exception. And know this, when a universe first comes into being, that is at the origin of a Wahoo Makwin universe, out of the Kali Makwin at omniverse it is grown. And it is void of flesh and blood creatures, therefore there are no individuals I masculine and 20 feminine, male and female person to start any humanoid race of people in the Wahoo Makwin universe grown out, and another Kali Makwin at omniverse is just one of Kather Makwin at multiverses. So in actual fact the existing powers that be must do that. And make note this, at the beginning of this one universe at its birth, there was not death. Death did not exist. In the beginning nothing proceeded. In the middle nothing stays still. In the end nothing is after. Being death did not exist, therefore death was surely no threat to life anywhere in this Wahoo Makwin universe. The specific creative powers that I Pa Naba, Yaa-Nun have in mind are Pa Mishmash the physical sun, Pa Maya the physical moon, and Pa Taha the physical earth. The physical planet Earth in this part of your solar system and universe, and the Ba soul beings of this one universe's orbs. The original or first humanoids grown on planet Earth were flesh and blood beings grown by deities called Unnatural overseers, who originated here from the Sa at Orion and Sabat at Sirius star systems into the Maya at waters, then unto Saka land. Using 9 reason and the rules and cycles of absolute natural nature, and there were grown 9 original species out of the one called dwellers. They dwelled, 1. Water, 2. Land, 3. Sky, 4. Caves, 5. Hills, 6. Deserts, 7. Swamp, 8. Trees, and 9. Forests. 9 species of the original as compared today to the 4 major races and numerous subdivision races, and the last, the white race. The original 9 species: 1. Autumn, 2. Tefnut, 3. Shu, 4. Nut, 5. Geb, 6. Isis, 7. Osiris, 8. Nephthys, and 9. Seth. And they are from the sea onto land by way of Nun-Tat, Nun, Hay-Tat, Hay, Kek-Tat, Kek, Amun-Tat, and Amun, of Ptah. The 9 deities were originated at different intervals of time and over time came into existence in Africa, oversaw by Pa Merzak-U the providers, or Rizak-U, who sent Pa Manjar-U or Najar-U overseers. Since the original Pa Mutsa-U Enneads from the Pa Mutmam-U Ogdodes, flesh and blood deities and blood and spirit once grown or created, never cease to exist in spirit form or formula as long as this universe lasts. Pa Mutmam-U, the Ogdodes, the octave beings, and Pa Mutsa-U, the Ened, the 9 beings. Ending this line and beginning onward of the same never ending is at the horizon or Harar Horus of evolution and on seed after seed. Isis, Min, Osiris, Horus, Imsidi, Happy, Duamutf, and Kebesenef. This was the metamorphose or transmute, composition and form to become human beings and animals at different intervals of time through the egg and sperm process. The so-called new term Panspermia simply means spreading sperm across the world or around the planet one end to the other. In this case the white race uses it from the Greek to Old English pan out Greek god of flesh, or a goat man sayer Leviticus 17:7, and is translated as the devil in Bible Leviticus 17:7, and they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring. This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations. A goat man, Pan. Chronicles 11:15, and he ordained him priests for the high places, and for the devils, and for the calves which he had made. This is who the Israelites worshipped El Shaddai also in Deuteronomy 32:17. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. As Shad devil. So when they use panspermia it means to spread their wicked evil seed or sperm the world over from Genesis 12:7. And the Lord appeared unto Abram, and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. Genesis 9:1. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth. Genesis 6:1-5. The sperm of the sons of gods, or Elohim, the seed of their makers, in the case of the black race, was transported to the water of this the blue rock or Palmaquak to Leah the planet Earth, inside of dolphin, and released in the waters of the Indian Ocean and South Atlantic Ocean, and grew in the waters first as Mutmam you Ogdodes. Why to this day you still have webs between your fingers and toes, you were Mudgantat you mermaids and Mudgan you mermans, just as you are in the Raham womb today as a stage in the fetus growth. For millions of years you lived in Maya water and had gills and no body hair. Why today true pure African have no body wabar hair? It was a great tsunami caused by a meteorite used as a weapon by extraterrestrials at war. Many stayed in the Maya water, till this day they live with dolphins and whales. Others were cast on to try land and swamps of Botswana's Kalahari Desert too far to return and lived in swamps, then began to climb up in trees for safety from land predators. Yet, had to come down to seek food to become land dwellers who would retreat to the sea each morning to drink and wash, then moved up the Nile to spread the world over. All this was an ET plan or Plan ET. This was all planned by aliens, many from many different star systems who came to the blue rock for their own reasons. Some to mine for minerals, some to vacation, others to hunt and others to farm for bara food, garas at plants and hoenu animals, others to farm humans for food as well. This came much later and is why the Adam-Usul al-Adamite race was made or formed for their gods who are carnivorous, as you read in Genesis 4:2, and she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, sand, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. Where you read that their Elohim gods at Abel as a keeper of sheep or sand, Tasan, Hebrew Strong's number 6626, also Psalm 144:13, that our garners may be full, affording all manner of store, that our sheep, sand, may bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our streets. It means flock, sheep, goat, cattle. And now who were these flocks being kept farmed for, who was eating them if Adam, Eve, Cain and Abel were the only humans on Taha earth at that time and were told don't Baru eat, Bashar flesh or Damim blood meat? Genesis 1:29. And God said, behold, one have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. Then after Noah they ate flesh. Genesis 9:3. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have one given you all things. So at first the original Adam family of only 4 people between Genesis 1:27. So God created man in his own image, in the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. Through Genesis 4:1-6. So the flesh of the flocks could only be for their Elohim, gods and the sons of gods. And the offspring of the mixing of these sons of God and the fair-skinned daughters of Adam. Genesis 6:1-5. So the children or Gibborim born by the Nephilim and Bat Adam, daughters of Adamites and the fallen angels, these children were giants and ate flesh, even human flesh. This was after Genesis 6:1-5, because before then, as you read, they did not eat meat. Genesis 1:29. And this is now known because they found old scrolls that were lost, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the lost book of Enoch now found, and in these you find the complete story of the mixing of Adamite fair-skinned daughters with these fallen angels, sons of God. 1 Enoch 6:6-36, 1 Enoch 7:1-14, 1 Enoch 9:5-14, 1 Enoch 10:12-13, 1 Enoch 18-20, and 1 Enoch 69:4-12. And the other lost book found now, Book of Jubilees 4:15-23, and Jubilees 5:1-3. The exact same stories as found in Genesis 6:1-5, only with much work about how the offspring ate human flesh and drank blood, and this passed on down in these seeds from Adam to right now. You read in their Bible, which the Quran comes from, that the Hebrews, Israelites, Ishmaelites were cannibals. Why they love blood meat today? All you have to do is read these. 2 Kings 6:28-29, Leviticus 26:29, Deuteronomy 28:53, Lamentations 4:10 and 2:20, and Ezekiel 5:10. And the list is long of humans in the Bible eating humans, even their own Karaji children, and these are the people of Adam's seed. This is the religions of the Bible and Quran and many lost books such as Book of Jasher, Joshua 10:13, 2 Samuel 1:18, Book of the Acts of Solomon, 1 Kings 11:41, Book of Samuel the Seer, 1 Chronicles 29:29, Book of Gad the Seer, 1 Chronicles 29:29, Book of Nathan the Prophet, 1 Chronicles 29:29, Book of Nathan the Prophet, 2 Chronicles 9:29, Prophecy of Ahijah, 2 Chronicles 9:29, 12:15, 13:22, Visions of Uldo the Seer, 2 Chronicles 9:29, 12:15, 13:22, Book of Shemaiah, 2 Chronicles 12:15, Book of Jehu, 2 Chronicles 35:25, Sayings of the Seers, 2 Chronicles 33:19, Lament for Josiah, 2 Chronicles 35:25, Paul's Epistle to Corinthians before 1 Corinthians 5, Paul's Epistle to Church at Laodicea, Colossians 4:16, the Book of Yahweh, Isaiah 39:14, the Book of War of the Wars of Yahweh, Number 21:19, the Book of Remembrance, Malachi 4:16, the Book of Life, Philemon 4:3, the Book of Covenant, Exodus 24:7, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Truth, the Gospel of Philip, the Gospel of Peter, the Gospel of the Egyptians, the Gospel of the Hebrews, the Acts of Peter, the Book of Paul and the Clah, the Testament of Solomon, the Book of Joseph and Asenath, the Zohar, the Kebra Nagast, the Lamech Scroll, the Gospel of Nicodemus, and the Life of Adam and Eve. To name just a few of the books once lost, mostly now found. Have you read them? Just as if you never read the Book of Enoch and Book of Jubilee, you would not know they contain the story from where Genesis 6:1-5 was taken from. Yet with so much more, think of how much you have not been able to read by not knowing of the lost books of the Bible, as well as the lost chapters of the Quran. And the many stone tablets from which they all was taken, such as Creation of Man by the Mother Deity, The Curse of Agad, Epic of Creation, Enuma Elish, Epic of Gilgamesh, Epic of Etana, Era Epic, the Era Epos, the Exaltation of Inanna, Inanna's Descent to the Underworld, Ptolemy texts, The Myth of Enki, The Myth of Su, Tale of Adapa, Generations of Adapa, Tales of the Magicians, the Kuthian Legend of Navam Sin, Kingship in Heaven, and the Atrahasis Epic. Just to name a few of the many thousands of stone tablets found in the Middle East that they don't want made known. Even will try and destroy as many as they can. They tell of the making of the Adamite race, when and by whom, even why, all this kept from you in your religions of Abrahamism, Mosesism, Jesusism, and Mohammedism. Many of our race believe and accept or convert to these religions and have no idea about the truth, have not read all their books or true teachings, don't know who made, cloned, grafted, created, birthed which race.